This video is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform to build a beautiful online presence and run your business. As I make this video, the latest new iOS 16, launched just a few days ago. If you're a tech nerd like me, this is an exciting time. For everyone else, new iOS updates are typically either boring or overwhelming. Your phone can now do a lot of new things, but if you're not the kind of person to go off exploring on your device, you've probably got absolutely no idea about just what your phone can now do. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 10 new things that your iPhone can do thanks to iOS 16. Stick with me until the end of this video. There are some really exciting new features to unpack. Oh, one thing to point out, some of the new features will only work on an iPhone XS, XS Max, XR, or newer phones. And rather than say that every time, what I'll do instead is put a caption on screen like this whenever I'm talking about an impacted feature. Okay, let's get into it. You can now lift a subject from a photo, isolating something from an image, and you can then copy that image and paste it elsewhere, or share it via a number of methods, and it's very easy to do. So here, for example, in this image, I'm going to tap and hold on the subject until I see this kind of scan animation whoosh over the item that I want to capture. I'll let go at that point, and my phone will then give me some options for what to do with the image that I've just cut out, either to share it or to copy it. If I choose share, you can see that the cutout is a PNG file, and whilst it might not be obvious to you, I can confirm that the PNG has a transparent background. So if you work with graphics where you need to cut things from images and paste them elsewhere, this could be a super productivity hack for you. You can share the image via the usual sharing methods like messages, email, WhatsApp, etc. You can also do things like create a quick note with it, and if you've got any applicable third-party apps installed, you can share it with those too. The other alternative is to copy the image and then open up something else, maybe an email or a message, or perhaps even something like Pages or Keynote, and you can then paste it right in. Thanks to Universal Clipboard, you can even copy on your iPhone and then paste the image on your Mac or iPad. It's not flawless, and it works better with very clear images where there's an obvious distinction between the subject and the background, but it does work pretty well overall. In iOS 16, once you've sent a message to someone, provided they are also using an iPhone and provided their iPhone has been updated to iOS 16 or above, you can edit the message. Once sent, tap and hold on the message to bring up the contextual menu. Then choose Edit, and you can edit the text as if you were editing it prior to sending it. Tap the little blue tick icon to confirm the change. At the recipient's end, they will receive a notification letting them know that the message has been edited, and it will show with an edit button. If the user taps on that edit button, they can view the previously edited messages shown in a slightly grayer colour. Note that there is a 15-minute time limit on this from the moment that you hit send. Before we go any further, I want to take a moment to talk about the sponsor of today's video, Squarespace. Maybe you've started your own business or side hustle, or maybe you're working on that passion project you always wanted to get started on. Either way, you're going to want a digital presence, and a website is still the first step in building out your brand online. Squarespace makes the whole process of building a website easy, but what I really appreciate is how many fantastic custom templates they offer. Getting started is always the hardest part of any new project, and Squarespace have so many custom templates to cover pretty much any type of website you can think of, from gaming and fashion to politics, food and photography. They even have templates for personal and CV websites. I was able to find a template for my Proper Honest Tech website in a matter of minutes, and customizing the template to really make it your own is a piece of cake. Check out squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/properhonesttech to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain, or use the code ProperHonestTech. When I made a video about maps earlier this year, the number one comment, without a shadow of a doubt, was that people wanted to be able to add stops along their planned routes. Well, in iOS 16, now you can. Now when you create a route using the normal method, you can see that you have an additional option called Add Stop. If you tap there, you can then search for somewhere you'd like to stop at, another address, maybe a food location or a store, whatever you need. You can then drag the individual items around to create your route in the order you want to travel, and you can add multiple stops, giving you a really accurate idea of how long an overall journey is going to take, not taking the time you spend at each stop into consideration, of course. Maps allows you to add up to 15 stops along your route. This definitely works for car journeys, although I believe it should also work for public transport where that option is available. I've mentioned visual lookup in a previous video, the feature where you can use your iPhone to identify things like plants, pets, or landmarks and give you more information about them. That functionality has now been expanded out to cover birds, insects, spiders, and statues in your photos. Just as a reminder to do this, find a photo where you see this little eye icon with a sparkle next to it down at the bottom of the screen. Tap on that, and here you'll see the lookup information for whatever your phone believes is in the photo. Tap here to find out more, including Siri knowledge and images from the web. You can finally take quick notes on your iPhone in iOS 16. The quick notes function has been around on Mac and iPad for a while now, whereby at any time, pretty much anywhere on either of those devices, you can swipe to create a quick note and link it to whatever you're working on at the time. These notes go into a dedicated quick notes pile in Notes, which you can then sort and finish later on. But until now, you've not been able to create them on your iPhone, only view and edit them, which has always been a bit odd to me. So let's say I'm browsing the web using Safari and I want to make a note of this page. Tap the share button down at the bottom like you usually would, but then scroll down a little and you'll now see add to quick note. Tap on that and a link to the page is created in a brand new quick note. You can then begin typing in anything that you want to add and then save it, and this note will appear in the same quick notes part of your Notes app on Mac and iPad if you use either of those. Definitely a minor update in amongst some of these major changes, but I'm including it anyway as I reckon this is going to be really useful for a lot of people. You can of course allow access to your Wi-Fi with another iPhone owner by accepting the request that will appear on your screen when someone tries to join your network, but there are going to be times where you're going to want to view, perhaps even copy your Wi-Fi password, and you can now do that in iOS 16. Head to Settings, then Wi-Fi, then tap on the Info button next to your Wi-Fi network. Now in Password, if you tap there you can use your phone's biometrics or password to view the Wi-Fi password, and you can tap on the copy button to of course copy it to your clipboard, and once there you can do with it whatever you like. If you're enjoying the content here, why not consider signing up to my newsletter, The Proper Weekly? I include some tech news from the week, a behind the scenes of what's happening here on the channel, as well as a short guide for a product in the Apple ecosystem. I send the newsletter out each Friday, it's free to sign up, and the link is in the description of this video. In iOS 16, you can schedule an email to be sent later, rather than having to send it right away, which is a great little addition to a mail app which, let's face it, has been a bit underwhelming in recent years. So I've got this email written. To send it, you would of course tap the send button, but instead I'm going to press and hold the send button to bring up some options. You've got send now up at the top, then send later down at the bottom, and depending on the time of day when you do this, you'll get different options in between. Things like send at 9 PM tonight, that kind of thing. If you tap on send later, you can be really specific about when you'd like the email to go, choosing a date and time in the future. Notice up at the top that your phone explains that your device must be online at the send time in order for this to work. This would mean that you couldn't set this up before boarding a flight, for example, or shutting your phone down. You would need to ensure that your phone is powered on and connected to the internet at the desired sending time for this to work, but I can think of plenty of situations where being able to draft an email right away but not have it send immediately would be pretty useful. Once you choose a time in the future, your email mailboxes will show a send later section, and if you tap into that, then tap into the email, you can either edit the sending date and time, cancel sending it later, or delete the email entirely. If you purchase things using Apple Pay, you can now track your orders directly from within the Wallet app. Within the Wallet app, you now have this little package icon up at the top right of the screen, and if you tap on that, you can then view order information and track the order for whatever you've purchased. If you tap into the order itself, you can view the order number, and tapping on that will take you to the store's website and into the order itself. You can view the total cost of the order, and down at the bottom there's a handy little send email button, which is great if you realise you need to get in touch with the seller. It saves you having to root around their website looking for a way to contact them. If you tap the ellipsis up at the top, you can mark the order as complete, pause any updates for it, and mute notifications about it, as well as deleting the order. Just a reminder, this will only work if you pay using Apple Pay, and I believe that the retailer has to enable it at their end, but more and more companies are now offering it, so there's an increasing chance that you'll be able to make use of this in the near future. This feature is currently only available in London, here in the UK, or the San Francisco Bay Area, San Diego and New York in the US, but I'm mentioning it because it's a nice feature and will be coming to other cities very soon. If you plan a trip in Maps using public transport in any of the previously mentioned cities, Maps will not only show you a route, it will also show you the cost of that trip. You can see the cost information just here. You can kind of recall emails now in iOS 16. So the way this works is, let's say you hit send on an email and you immediately have that feeling of dread when you realise that you shouldn't have sent it. Maybe it's gone to the wrong person, contains something it shouldn't, whatever. Provided you realise that within 10 seconds of hitting send, you're in luck. Look to the bottom of the screen when I hit send on this email. You now get an undo send button. Tap that and you're returned back to the email edit screen. No email has been sent and you can do whatever you need to do to keep you out of whatever trouble you might have been in if you'd sent the email. Now, the reason why I say that this is kind of a recall is because I don't think that's what's actually happening here. I think Apple have written a 10-second delay into the software, kind of an "are you sure you want to send this" function. Do nothing, and in 10 seconds your email is sent. Hit the undo button and you're back where you started. It's a cool feature in fairness, and there have definitely been times recently where I would have loved to have had this feature available to me, so nice one, Apple. I feel like I ought to mention this. The lock screen has, without a doubt, seen the most significant changes in iOS 16, with huge updates to how the lock screen both looks and functions. So much so, in fact, that I've already created a dedicated video talking all about it. I'll link to that video in the description of this one, and if you haven't already, I would definitely recommend that you check that one out next. So there you go, 10 great new features available to you on your iPhone as part of iOS 16. I've got another one of these videos almost ready to go with 10 more features. That should be out in a day or two, so definitely keep an eye on the channel for that. What about you? What new features are you really enjoying in iOS 16? Likewise, what were you hoping for that didn't materialise? Drop me a comment and let me know. And as ever, if you found this video useful, do please consider leaving me a like and subscribing to my channel for more content like this in the future. See you on the next video.